Today I want to talk about WordPress block themes, and this is probably one of the reasons you might be here watching videos in this channel. It seems to be the future of WordPress, and maybe it's not really your cup of tea. And to be honest, I haven't explored it in depth, but I thought I would take a look at it today and see just what some of the challenges are. So I've got the page up here from WordPress, just talking about what a block theme is and why you might use it. And it talks about these things like the template or site editor, which are things that are maybe unfamiliar for the traditional WordPress theme. And if we scroll down here a little bit to see how are block themes different from classic themes, it talks a little bit about all the things you can configure with JSON, and how classic themes, what you might be used to up until now, don't actually work with this new site editor. So I've spun up a bare bones WordPress website that has the default 2024 theme, which is a block theme. So we can explore that a little bit together. So let's take a look. So on the front page, in the browser, we have just a bunch of pre-configured content, which is to be expected, I think, for something out of the box. But the first thing that I notice here is I don't have, when I'm logged in, I don't have an edit page link, which is really curious because that's something that I'm used to having in a traditional, classic WordPress theme. But I have this edit site link instead. So let me just take a look at that. So this is a little bit different from what I am accustomed to in a classic WordPress theme, where in the admin dashboard, I have the menu on the left, and you hover over the links and they're in blue, and I can see all the things like plugins and links to different parts of the site, the media library, but none of that is here. Instead, I have this different, I guess this is the site editor view, and I can presumably click in and edit some of this stuff. This is the block editor where you're editing things directly in the UI, right? So I can save that. Is it this one? View site. Okay, so I'm able to change things, but it feels a little bit different from, again, what I said I was accustomed to. Okay, so if I click that link, but I have some other configuration items here that have to do with the header, the footer, stuff with the posts per page. Yet I'm in this view where I'm editing the homepage. Let's click on this little arrow here and see what I get. Okay, so I have other templates available. I've got an index page template. Okay, this looks like it'd be for blog posts. Can I edit this? Post go here. Okay, it looks like it can. Let's go back. So I'm a little bit confused as to, where this would actually go. But is it just a template that I'm editing or what? Not exactly sure. Maybe we'll find that out when we start exploring the theme itself. Now if I click this again, the stuff about the design, and I click this. Okay, now I get to the traditional dashboard. So this is a little bit different. So let's go find that homepage. And there's no homepage here. So this is confusing. So maybe we should explore our WordPress theme and see what's going on. So I happen to have it here I have the WP content directory for this site, and I've got the 2024 folder open up here. And I noticed a few things right off the bat. Functions.php is there like it is in any WordPress theme, but what's not there conspicuously is the index.php. If you're familiar with a classic WordPress theme, you might be familiar with the template hierarchy where everything sort of falls back to the index.php. And then you can override that depending on the kind of template you want. If it's an archive template, if it's a single page or a single post template, the way that you name your files will override the index.php. And if it's not there, it'll just fall back that way. So there's no index.php. But I see a few other things here. I've got this templates. Okay, so maybe this is probably what corresponds to what we were looking at before. I've got this archive. Okay, right, we've got all these comments with some sort of like serialized data. We've got our home page. So we've got this idea of a WordPress pattern. And we're looking at this template home business. So if I maybe go in this patterns directory, Maybe there's something here that will show me what we're looking. Template, here we go. Template, home, business. Let's open that. Okay, so we've got a template that's looks like it's being composed of other template parts, which I think was in another directory up here, like this one. I think this will correspond to the header and then to the footer. And then we've got this WP group, which is a block, a core block. And then we have some markup, and we have some inline style, which is interesting. But we're also referencing another pattern here inside of this pattern. So we've got page, home, business. So we're in template, home, business, which is referencing page, home, business. Let's look at page. Here we go. Page, home, business. And this is again referencing a whole bunch of other patterns. So I've got this banner hero, text featured grid, 3 columns. If I go back here, this is probably that banner hero. Yeah, there's this 3-column grid. So that's probably what we're looking at. So let's look at some of those patterns. We've got banner hero. And again, this appears to be composed of more WordPress blocks. So we've got this group. We've got some markup utilizing that, and another nested group. We've got a heading, level 1, with some markup to go with it. A spacer with some inline styles. This looks to be the basis of my homepage. You know, if I was to change some of this text, what do I get? Commitment to stuff. Change that. Commitment to a refresh. Okay, obviously it's not changing this. So the template pattern, it's not actually using that on the front page. It's just the foundation for this page. So if I was to explore the database, maybe it's in here somewhere. Which one is the home? Well, I don't know which one is the home page because there's no entry in the pages in the admin. So it might be difficult to find that, but maybe I can look at some of this stuff to see where it might match. Okay, so this looks somewhat like we were exploring in the code, but the actual content in the database here is this same sort of mix of code with these HTML comments with serialized data. This is the sort of thing that seems to be frustrating a lot of developers who have a lot of experience with WordPress. You know, gone are the PHP templates in this style of theme where I can go in and edit things directly. I can reach into the database and get the content that I want. Now everything there's this new paradigm where it feels a lot more challenging to get up and running if I don't want what it just gives me out of the box, right? There's plenty of these templates that I can pick from in a basic site, but you know, what if my custom theme that I want to build, I don't want those things, or I want to be able to change them in ways that make sense for me without having to edit stuff like this in the database. Obviously, using the admin editor or the block editor is how you'll actually save the data in here and override it, but you're dependent on the UI decisions that WordPress has decided. Here's what you get. Here's the way that we're going to do it. Sorry, and you know, if you want to override stuff, you're going to have to find a different way to do that. You know, maybe that's going to be in your CSS file. So if I go back here, maybe I can do that. So the styles.css, and there's actually nothing in here. Well, I think maybe that has to do with, so this is stylus directory. This is just JSON files. You know, I'm guessing by the names, these are like color themes. Okay, so you've got a bunch of colors and stuff going on, and some fonts. What else do we have? Some font sizes, typography, some spacing presets. So, you know, I think this is a bunch of stuff that's going to get injected into the UI, you know, using these CSS variables. But it doesn't feel like an intuitive way as someone who's a front-end developer who wants to edit CSS to get in there and do it. I'm not even sure that this CSS file is registered in here. Is it going to be there? Style.css. It's not coming up in my search. So again, you'd have to register a style sheet kind of the old way and, you know, figure out your way around this. In contrast, I also have a basic Statamic site installed over here. This is what your home screen would look like. And if I open up the dashboard here, I can navigate to collections and pages, and there's my home page right away. And I can see here's the content exactly. And if I was to edit it, why don't we try this live preview thing? So maybe we can feel more WordPressy as we edit this page, and we see results in real time. And I start to delete stuff. Is it gonna, yeah, sort of updating in real time. Yes. Okay, and then I can save that, publish it. Okay, let's view that. All right, okay, that was pretty easy. Well, what about the templating? Let's go back here, and you can see I've got this template field where I can pick from a default or a home or layout template. And it's selected home here. And if I was to open up my views inside of my resources folder, this is the home template that is selected. And this big SVG here is the logo. And we're just outputting the content. This corresponds to the content field here, right? And this is the template that's being used. And you can see that the author is there. So presumably I could just edit this and use one of the antlers tags for the author and get the name. And then give it a refresh. Hey, there it is. That's my name. I'm the author. To me, this feels a lot more intuitive than this whole block theme system. Let's go in here and make it easy to change stuff. So I can npm install, and then I can do npm run dev to have it watch my changes. Maybe I don't want this margin top. Maybe I also want to change my layout because my home template is being used by the layout here. I can change my background, get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Remove some of that padding in the background. Right. So out of the box, Statamic comes with this really easy to use editing system. If you want to add even more fields and field sets to this template or make blueprints, it's all right there in the admin. I don't have to muck about with creating these layers of templates. This is one of the big reasons I'm a huge fan of Statamic. Getting up and running is that easy. It's that easy to edit my templates. I don't have to worry about all these layers of blocks and things just to get to the code that I want to edit myself as a developer. Well, what if I wanted to just stick with a classic WordPress theme? You could do that too, but I would suggest, WordPress is pushing us towards this block theme approach, and if you want to do that, sure. I personally think this is a whole lot easier, and we're going to explore just how easy that is in the videos to come. So please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.